Hey everybody, Jimmy Eats here again. Hey, has anybody ever heard of a guy named Leonard Herberger? Yeah, me neither, until today. Well, Leonard was famous for his restaurant that he started in 1922 in a city called Memphis, Tennessee. I know, we've all heard of Memphis, Tennessee, and what is Memphis known for best? That's right, their barbecue. So, after he opened up his restaurant, he came up with the pulled pork sandwich. I tell you what, it's a famous sandwich still today. And what he did was he slow roasted his pork for 8 to 10 hours, served it on a toasted bun with his homemade coleslaw. I tell you what, I'm getting hungry thinking about it, and that's what I'm going to do today. So stick with me. I'm going to put one together and show you how it's done. All right, so get this started. We're going to season this pork roast. What I got is a shoulder roast, not an expensive piece of meat. I paid a little over $11 for it. Nice looking, it's got a bone in, so it's got good flavor. And what I'm going to do to season it, I'm going to start off with some paprika. I'm going to put it on generously because I'm going to put it all around the whole thing. Get it coated real well. And then also some brown sugar. Gotta have the brown sugar on there. Plenty of that. I'm going to put it all around. Some dry thyme. Thyme gives it really good flavor. And then some minced garlic. I'm going to put some of this on there as well. I'm going to put it on generously because, like I said, I'm going to spread it all around all four sides of this roast. I'm going to get on there real thick. So don't be scared to rub it in. It's like this. Turn it over. Get both sides. Put more on it. Okay, so now I'm going to prepare the Crockpot bowl with the inside, the bottom. What I'm going to do, I got 3 big onions. I slice them and peel them. This one's kind of small, but that's okay because I only got so much room. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them in half, just like that. I'm going to lay them in here and put like a bed of onions for the roast to sit on. And what that's going to do is basically going to caramelize these onions as it's cooking in the slow cooker. Trust me, it's going to be really good on the sandwich because you use the onions on the sandwich. So, really good little idea to do that I saw someone else do as well. Okay, so you put them in there like that. Put a little salt and pepper with it. This is a mixture of salt and pepper for some seasoning. Just like so. Okay, so you take your chicken stock, broth, stock, same thing to me. I got just a little bit left in this bowl, in this container, about this much or so. So you fill that, you put that in. I'd say about the rest of what I got will be fine. Now you're going to get other juice dripping off. Actually, that's going to be enough right there. I'm going to get enough juice dripping off of the pork loin that it's going to fill this up pretty good, but it's going to caramelize them onions really good. So that's going to be really good and tasty. So here's my pork butt. I'm going to add some salt and pepper to it. It's one thing I forgot to do a little bit ago. So add the salt and pepper. I can smell the seasoning on here. It's so good already. I'm really excited to have this done. So you set it in here. I'm going to set it right on top of these onions, just like that. I'm going to season the other side with salt and pepper, just like so. And then you pop your lid on. Okay, once you got the lid on, you seal it up with this little rubber deal. It kind of helps hold it on there, basically so my kids don't mess with it while I'm letting it slow cook. Okay, I'm going to put it on a low heat for a minimum of 8 hours, possibly 10, depending on how tender I want it. All right, everybody, so last evening I put the pork butt in the crock pot, and I have had it in there for well over 10 hours, probably closer to 11. So this pork is going to be really tender and easy to pull. It smells amazing. I wish there was such a thing as smell-o-vision because you would be super hungry if you got a whiff of it. So if you give me a minute, I'm going to take it out of the crock pot. I'm going to put it in a Pyrex bowl. I'm going to cover it and let it stand for 30 minutes. So while it's at its stand, I'm going to make some homemade coleslaw to go with this sandwich. So stick with me. I'll be back in a few and we're going to show you how I do it. All right, so I'm going to take it out of the crock pot. It's going to be super hot, so hopefully I don't burn myself doing this. First time the lid's been open since I put it in there. I can see how tender it is by just looking at it. Looks amazing. Okay, so I'm going to take this pork out, put it in this bowl. We're going to let it stand for a little while and cool down. Try to drain some of that off, just like that. So we'll let that sit right here. I'm going to cover it with some foil. Smells unbelievable. And we're going to give it a rest. Okay, so to start off with the coleslaw, I have about a quarter of a green cabbage. I halved it out and then halved it again, so I got about a quarter of that. The same with a red cabbage, or purple, it looks to me. This is a smaller cabbage, but I cut it in half, and then I cut it in half again for another quarter. And then I also sliced a couple carrots to go with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cheese grater and I'm going to shred this cabbage. Okay, so now that I have the cabbage sliced and shredded, I'm going to go ahead and put it in this mixing bowl. Just going to dump it all in there. I'm going to do the same with the red cabbage. Shred it the same way. So just do the same thing. So okay, I almost got this shredded about as far as I can get it without hurting myself. So these last few leaves I'm probably gonna lose. So okay, I have that shredded. Now I'm gonna combine it with the other cabbage right here. Okay, it's gonna make it look really pretty, really nice. Nice looking cabbage. So now I have these two carrots. I'm gonna repeat the process once again. So I'll take the carrot, break the end off a little bit because it's kind of got an end on there, and shred. Okay, so I got my carrot shredded down pretty good. Throw that out, and now combine the carrot with the rest of the cabbage. Okay, it's going to look and be really good. So what I do here is I go ahead and mix it up a little bit. Okay, one thing I forgot to add to this coleslaw before I put the dressing in to actually finish the coleslaw is some fresh lemon. Now it's really important that you put the fresh lemon in there because it gives it kind of that zest, that freshness, that really good taste that you're looking for in a coleslaw that tastes really good and fresh. So I'm going to just grate some of this over the top. Okay, after I've grated it over top a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and slice it. I'm going to squeeze some of the juice inside and give it that juice inside there with it. That's a juicy lemon. Okay, so now for the dressing that goes into the coleslaw. I'm going to use some Duke's mayo. Love the Duke's mayo. And I'm just going to guess about a half a cup of mayo. A little more dressing will be okay because I don't have to put it all in there at the same time. So a little bit of sweet heat sriracha yogurt. This is really good. It gives it a little kick. Really good in here, and yogurt is a really good substitute sometimes for like a buttermilk but I do have a little buttermilk that I'm going to add with it anyway, because I love the flavor of the buttermilk. So I got a little bit of buttermilk here. I'm going to put maybe like a 1/4 cup of buttermilk, about like that. Okay, and then a little bit of celery seed. A splash of white vinegar, not a lot of vinegar because you can really taste that vinegar. That's a splash. Hopefully not too much. Then of course some sea salt and pepper. Okay, I'm gonna mix this together. Okay, so now I've got it mixed up really good. It's fairly thick. It's like perfect. So a little taste test. Make a huge mess of myself. Love that part. No harm done. Okay, so I'm going to mix this into the cabbage and the carrot. So mix this in there, toss it, and take a taste of it to see what I think. So, okay, and mix thoroughly. Okay, now that I got my coleslaw made and my pork has rested for approximately 30 minutes or so, it's time to open it up and slice some off. So have a look at that. Wow, that looks amazing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just slice some off with my knife here. I'm going to put it in this bowl, and then we're going to chop it up as I go. It's not going to take much. It's so tender. It's just coming right off on its own. So put some in the bowl. Look how beautiful that is. Holy cow. Okay, so just go ahead and pull it apart. I mean, when it's this soft, it just pulls apart like nothing anyway. Okay, at the beginning of the video, you saw when I made the crock pot with the pork in it, I cut some onions in half and made a bed of onions for the pork to cook on. Well, nevertheless, don't forget about the onion that was in there. So I took one out, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice it up. This is so juicy and so good and so hot. So I'm just going to slice it up in little pieces and have this caramelized onion into the pork, into this bowl with the pork. So, okay, so I took one onion out and I diced it up, and take a beautiful look. That is so good that way. Caramelized onions on top of the pork. So go ahead and we'll mix that up, and we'll start prepping up the bun for the sandwich. So I'm gonna take this off the Blackstone, get the Blackstone heated up a little bit, and I'm gonna toast a couple buns to get it going. Okay, so now it's time to toast the buns, and what I have here are 2 ballpark buns. It's like the ballpark hot dog buns that you see in the ballpark, but these are just hamburger buns. They're really good. They're very soft. They're almost like they bake them in butter. They got such a wonderful flavor. So I pre-buttered them. I'm gonna go ahead and set them down right here and get them to crisp up a little bit. I tell you what, it's really important that you crisp the bun on your pork sandwich, because this pork sandwich is going to be a little juicy, and it's almost, once you crisp it, it almost protects it from getting super soggy and hard to eat. So this part right here is really important. So we'll give it a second to brown up, and then we'll build the sandwich. Okay, I think I have the buns toasted pretty good. That looks nice. Okay, so to start, I'm going to put the coleslaw down first. A pretty generous portion. It's a pretty good sized sandwich. This homemade slaw is way better than buying in the store, I promise. Really good. It takes time, a little practice, but once you get it the way you like it, it's definitely worth doing yourself. And if you like coleslaw, you can make as much as you want. Okay, and then the pulled pork on top. Now remember, this has got the caramelized onion in there, so it's going to give it extra flavor. So be really generous with the pork, because this is what it's all about. Pile it up pretty good. Okay, that looks really good. Now, it just wouldn't be right without a little bit of barbecue sauce. So, I got some Sweet Baby Ray's honey chipotle barbecue sauce. I like this. It's got a little bit of a heat to it, not a lot. Of course, there's a little bit of heat in the coleslaw from the sriracha yogurt that I put. So, a little dab of this barbecue on top. Just like so. And put the lid on. Bang. Don't those look delicious? All right, so I'm gonna take a taste and see how I like it. So on that note, let's give it a taste. All right, so for the taste test. Oh, it smells so good. Wow. I can taste a little bit of everything on that sandwich. I can taste the homemade coleslaw, a little bit of chipotle that I put on there with the barbecue. Of course, the caramelized onions in that pulled pork is definitely an amazing idea. Of course, the buns alone are good. The way they make them buns are a really good secret. I don't know what they do to them, but they got like a butter taste when you bite into it. So this sandwich is simply amazing. I mean, look at the inside of that sandwich. That looks so good, and I won't lie, it is. I'm not in Memphis, everybody. I'm in Iowa. But for just a few seconds, I was on vacation in Memphis, Tennessee. So on that note, I think it's pretty good. I think if you guys try this recipe, what I did today, you will not be disappointed. It's really good. By all means, throw me some comments. Like always, I'd love to hear what you got to say. Give me a thumbs up. Thumbs up are always pretty good to see. And by all means, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do. Please subscribe. Give me some more people seeing what I'm doing. Give me some feedback on what you do and what you like about this sandwich, whether you like it or not. If you got any ideas for the next video or any video down the road, don't be shy. Please let me know. I'll tell you what, this is looking so amazing, and it is just about noon, so it is lunchtime. I'm ready to eat some of this, my sandwich, and on that note, I'm Jimmy Eats, and I tell you what, everybody, that's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to eat. So thanks again, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you.